so keep that in mind.
Yeah, hey, forget I asked. That'll definitely do.
Ew. Join the Discord.
It was the least fun I've ever had playing this game.
A small but vibrant and extremely humble community.
No, I've seen the sleeves, but I'm like, you said you're suiting up and then you put your sleeve on. Thank you for saying that.
Because I'm a demon on the keys.
Next thing I know, we're both dead. I immediately left the lobby.
In Vietnam.
What are they playing for? Are they playing to win?
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
We are in totality and absolutely, completely, and utterly live. Welcome to the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast, episode number 170 and also 6. If you add all those numbers up, that's the episode we are on today. My name is Casey Razinon. I am joined by... We need some hats, dude. We should put that in the next launch,
That'll be
too.
next. Dad hats. Yeah, dad hats.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%. I'm joined by Tanner. How you feeling, little tired bitch boy? Pussy?
Mahalo.
Don't do that. Don't say mahalo. Why did you just say mahalo?
Because by the time they're listening to this, I'm in Hawaii. I'm probably sipping on a Mai Tai literally as you listen to this, pussy.
Got it. Cool, man. What is a Mai Tai? What's in that item? Is that rum?
Know. I don't know. I have no idea.
So you're going to Hawaii, huh? Which island?
What if someone tries to stream snipe me IRL? I'm going to
Holy
a island.
shit.
I'm going to an island.
You're going to
I'll
an
post.
island.
Follow me on Twitter. What's my Twitter? Tanner Dropshot. Follow me there. I think that's my Twitter. Just make sure. Yeah. Follow me there. I'll be posting some vlogs while I'm there this week, probably.
Okay. Well, that's cool, man. What are you going for? A wedding, right?
Now we're just going to go.
Oh.
You ever heard of that? Vacation? You ever done that?
No.
Family ever done that?
No. I've been locked in this room for 29 years. All right, welcome to the show. So today, Mai Tai's made with rum, by the way. Called it. Got him. Today, we are doing an episode. Now, originally, our intention for tonight was to talk more about the haunting event and do kind of a season 6 second impressions. Because what we try to do every month, first Monday of the month, we kind of get all of our episode topic ideas, or as many of them as we can, and schedule them out in advance, just so we have things, to kind of think about in the back of our minds as the days roll by, as we inch closer to death. But, of course, we're absolutely not talking about the haunting event. I am deeply upset that I've had to talk about it at all, which we did on Wednesday, because it was just dog shit and awful. And everything that we would want or need to say, anything at all that needs to be said, in fact, about the haunting event, that fucking travesty, miscarriage of a holiday, we've already said on Wednesday.
God.
There's nothing else to say about it.
Nice.
There was nothing good about it. It was fucking trash.
There was a good thing about it. Stop lying, dude.
Okay, go ahead.
It was an LTM. We weren't forced to play it.
True. Yeah, I mean, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we played it 3 times, so we weren't obviously going to do a fucking episode on that. And then a season 6 second impressions was kind of another thing we were mulling over. But again, like many seasons lately, I don't have second impressions. Our first impressions were kind of spot on. It's like, okay, it seemed like a lot more of the map was going to be changed than it actually feels like in game. So I don't know. There's fissures, whatever, in the map now that I just jump over. And so I have nothing to say on that topic, right? And then there's the LAPA. We could talk a little bit about the LAPA, actually. The new SMG. And then the Ironhide, it's a shotgun that's dog shit. So instead, what we are going to do today, we've been meaning to do for quite a while. And finally, we're going to get around to it. We're going to be doing a Warzone Brainstorm. Now, we sort of did this. So this is the type of episode that we do a lot on the Patreon, where Tanner and I are kind of trying to work through things, thoughts we have, in real time, essentially. So most of our Saturday episodes are us giving you our opinions, but the purpose of a brainstorm is to formulate opinions. And so we'll bring up and talk about things that we aren't even sure of. For example, Swiss versus car. Which one's better? I don't really know if there's a clear answer to that. So that's something, for example, that tonight we'll talk about that and a lot of other things. Just things we haven't really thought through all the way, and record it and then put it into your stupid fucking ears like you're listening now. So that is what we're going to be doing today. And if you enjoy tonight's episode, then patreon.com/thedropshot, because we do Warzone Brainstorms very often on the Patreon. We really enjoy recording them, and they are very well received from our patrons. Unsurprisingly, because these, I think, are fairly productive most of the time. And they're a lot of fun to do. They're fun to listen to, I've been told. And again, we do this type of episode a lot on the Patreon. So patreon.com/thedropshot. Best way to support the show. We've got a lot of Warzone Brainstorms there already, and we will undoubtedly have a lot more. So that is something to keep in mind, and that is the topic of tonight's episode. By the way, great time to join the Patreon, because the overhaul is coming soon, TM, and we're going to be doing even more bonus episodes than we offer now.
Yeah.
So get in on the ground floor.
Honestly, too many. We're ripping ourselves off, dude.
Yeah, we're working ourselves to death, really. We're just taskmasters. Just fucking...
I don't even know the last time I gamed. All I do is work.
Well, you've played 20 games today, but yeah, of course, that is true.
That was work.
It's research, yeah. So, anyways, that is the topic of tonight's episode, and we've got a couple of thoughts written down. Very excited to get into it. Now, before we do, one more announcement. You might see me here wearing an item. This is a 14 karat gold chain, but that's not what I'm talking about. The item I'm talking about, and I'm just so iced up and drippy. Just iced up,
Drippied up,
inked up, giant dick, but that's not the item I'm talking about, right? The item I'm talking about, of course, is my t-shirt. I am wearing a t-shirt. It's only 79 degrees in my room, so I don't have to wear a tank top. I won't suffer heat
79
exhaustion.
in your room?
Sure is.
It's like 55 outside. Holy shit,
cool.
man.
So awesome, got it. So this t-shirt, right? This t-shirt is the new merch, part of it. This is the first ever piece of merchandise that is going to be official, the Dropshot of Call of Duty podcast merchandise, with the new Forever logo that we got when the website came out, maybe 9 months ago or whenever that happened. So this is going to be our first real merch drop with our real logos. And here is one of the items. Now take a look at this shirt. Look at how crispy and fucking, hold on. Look at how crispy and clean that logo is. I mean, look at the color, guys. Hold on, stop. Stop it.
Look at that detail in that helmet, dude. Look at that color detail.
How many colors? How
There's
many
like
colors
7.
can be on one shirt, dude?
We have them
How
all.
many? How many? Look at this. Just screen printed. And by the way, the t-shirt itself, soft as shit. It's Egyptian silk. It's not. It's just, I don't know. It's t-shirt material.
It's
What is the t-shirt made of?
I think it's 60% cotton, 40% like polyester or something. I don't know, but it's a great feeling shirt. Fantastic.
Feels really good, no
it's
cap.
not a dog shit cotton shirt that you pay $30 for. And it's the worst shirt you've ever owned. Fits amazing, dude. Look at this. I don't even have muscle. This makes it look like I actually have huge fucking biceps. It's crazy.
And that's
so.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Go
for
ahead.
absolute puny little boys out there like Urban Bigfoot and stuff, who look like a little bitch, this will work great for you. Just huge, dude.
Yeah. And
You'll look jacked.
And it fits super, super well. The sleeve length, you'll notice, don't get distracted by how fucking inked up I am, but the sleeve length, perfect, excellent, and it makes the shoulders look good, but it's a little bit of like a tapered, not too crazy. I know you're all fat pieces of shit. You play Call of Duty, so don't get crazy. Not too crazy, but a little bit of a taper. Just a little bit. It's an athletic
Taped up, yeah.
fit. It's an athletic fit. Hey, we know you got a little extra. That's okay. The shirt is going to help you. It's black. It's got a slimming effect. It fits extremely well. It's made of high quality mats, and the logo is fucking screen printed. There's 9,000 colors. All the colors. It is an excellent, exceptional t-shirt. And I'm thrilled I'm wearing it, dude. I'm thrilled I'm wearing it, and I'm thrilled to be shoving it down your guys' throats, right? And that's what we're doing. So, this is one of the 3 new items that are going to be a part of our first ever official merch drop. So, we've got the t-shirt, which makes disgusting pieces of shit like us look like we work at 24-hour fitness as personal trainers. I mean, it couldn't fit better, right? And if it can do that for us, it can probably do it for you too. So the t-shirt, we've also got the whiskey glass, which I think, Tanner, are you drinking out of the whiskey glass, dude? Why don't you give us a little preview of that whiskey glass?
It's a little taper.
We're just tapered up with all of our items.
There's
huh?
a logo. It's laser etched. You can kind of see it from this dog shit angle and all the water, the liquid in there. It's a nice little taper. So the spear ice, dude, fits perfectly down at the bottom. Oh man, yeah, it's nice.
It's laser etched, so it's subtle. And when you have people over and they open your cabinet, you're not going to be embarrassed. It's not overbearing. It's not too large, and it's absolutely clear and visible, but it's understated.
Yeah.
It's an understated laser etched logo.
Exactly.
On a standard size whiskey glass. Just standard and sized whiskey glass.
Nice tapered glass too. I've never had like a tapered whiskey glass like this. It's actually very like comfortable to hold because it's like, since it's tapered, dude, oh my God, it is so clutch. You can stack it too. So instead of just ordering one, you can order 4 of them because you can stack them. None of my whiskey glasses stack. They take up my whole damn cabinet actually because they don't stack. So maybe I should buy 10 of these for myself. Jesus Christ.
It's possible that you should, yeah. And it's a great glass, understated logo, not too big, not too small. And you see it more when it's filled with whiskey, which we expect all of you to do with the glass. Now, if you like to drink whiskey glass out of a coffee mug, maybe, then we've got those too. And this was one of my favorite items. Do we have this at hand to display, Tanner?
Right here.
Let's take a little peek. And this is the one where the logo is shockingly vibrant. Look at that, dude.
Nice
oh my
glass,
God.
Glossy white mug. Beautiful logo. Look at that.
Just
Look at that little helmet.
standard
Look at all that
mug.
color on there.
Just colored as fuck, dude. Just an excellent piece of merchandise.
Fantastic.
Oh, I gotta get you gotta remind me to make sure the discount is set up
It already
before
is.
the merch store goes live.
We already have it set up. We'll double
Okay,
check.
well, we
that.
gotta tell them what it is.
We will. Yeah. Oh, that's
Okay.
true. Yeah, we need to do that beforehand, huh? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So, anyway, we have all the 3 items. We've been talking about the merch for a long time. The United States Postal Service has finally sent Tanner the receptacles to mail things from, which is great. Everything's ready. The day has finally come. We thought we would do a merch launch in June. Well, it's now October 23rd, and we still are almost ready.
Better late than ever.
We're ready enough to tell you when it's going to drop and how it's going to drop, okay? Here's what you're doing. Hey, if you're listening, if you're going for a run, none of you are running. If you guys are sitting in your office, working ostensibly, if you're working on spreadsheets, maybe you're taking a shit, here's what I want you to do. Stop what you're doing, stop working, and close your eyes. Okay, listener, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to imagine that it is release day for Call of Duty Vanguard.
Ooh.
It is November 4th. It's the evening. Vanguard comes out at 9 p.m. Pacific time. And you're real excited about it, right? Let me add to that excitement, okay? Because here's what's going to happen. Tanner and I are going to be live streaming starting around 7:30, 7:45 p.m. Pacific time on November 4th. And it's going to be countdown till Vanguard release day, evening. Okay. And then what we're going to do is when the clock strikes 8 p.m. Pacific time, November 4th, 2021, 1 hour before Vanguard comes out, the merch store will be just alive, abuzz and ready for you to purchase all the items your heart desires. And here's what else we're going to do, dude. From 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., everyone who buys a piece of merch, we get notified immediately. A state-of-the-art website, of course. Immediately. Before you even buy it, we get emailed. Everyone who purchases an item, we are going to virtually suck you off from 8 to 9 p.m. while we wait for Vanguard to come out. Oh, let's go. Tanner bought a fucking mug, dude. Air horns blaring, shouting, shots. Maybe
the saxophone will even come out for that up.
We might fuck around and bust out the sax, dude. Bust out the sax, dude. Ready to bust out the sax. It's possible. So that's how the merch store drop is happening. November 4th, 8 p.m. Pacific time. You want to be here live while this is happening. You want to be enraptured in the excitement. Hang out, look at the merch, enjoy the merch, purchase the merch. An hour before Vanguard comes out, and then when Vanguard comes out, dude, the stream must go on, and we're just going to do a fucking release, gameplay, attempt, Q simulator, dev error simulator.
Oh, yeah.
Stream for Vanguard on that evening. And it's going to be both fun and exciting. So there you go. Merch coming out. First wave, November 4th, 2021. Let me also add, by the way, we are holding the merch in-house at the warehouse. Okay? We have all of our merch at the warehouse.
It's at the warehouse, all right, yeah.
This is not some third-party farming out to Singapore job, okay? This is our merch that we are selling. Okay? So, what that means is we don't have unlimited t-shirts, unlimited whiskey glasses, and unlimited coffee mugs. It's actually super limited how many we have. So I would urge you, okay, if you want an item, figure it out quickly. Because I would venture to say we will be selling out. I think we have fewer than 50 of each item. And then if we're talking t-shirts, we don't have 50 medium t-shirts. We've got 50 total t-shirts.
Yeah.
49 triple XLs. And then some other ones.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to get it soon And if it's sold out on the website, you complaining won't change anything because we can't just create t-shirts out of thin air. And Tanner does not know how to spool thread to make more for us. Okay. So buy the goddamn merch quickly or stay mad and get fucked. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And you might want to be here live too, because we might fuck around and do it 5 minutes before 8 p.m.
Never know.
Just to give the people, the real kings who are watching the dropshot.com/live as soon as we go live on November 4th. We might just tell them first, hey guys, look, as a little treat, as a nice little treat for you for being here early, for being here live tonight, we're going to make it go live now. We won't even tweet until 8 p.m., but we'll give it to you early for being here live. So you might want to consider being here live at the dropshot.com/live, of course.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on this drop, Tanner? How excited are you on a scale of 9 to 10?
Oh, I'm extremely excited. We are ready for this. The merch has been ready. It's just been sitting in the warehouse. It's probably getting dusty in the warehouse, actually. We got to start getting this out of here. So let's go live with this and start selling it, right, boys? But yeah, so will there be issues? Oh, probably.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Will you get scammed out of a product because something's not working on the website? Of course you will. Is there anything we can or we're going to do about it? No. I already know a few issues right off the bat. We only using the United States Postal Service. There's a bunch of countries they're not shipping to right now because of COVID. Australia's a big one. Australians get fucked, I guess. I don't know. We'll have to figure something out. We can ship it another way, but we'll have to figure all that out.
Well, can we?
We can ship it. We'd have to somehow sell it to them. They'd have to like pay us through PayPal, and then we can manually do it. And then we'll have to ship it like UPS or something.
Is it because Australia isn't accepting our mail, or is it because the USPS isn't shipping mail to Australia?
It's probably just USPS, I would imagine.
Because if Australia is not accepting mail, then the carrier won't matter.
Well, I'm sure they're accepting mail. They're just not. There's someone that's shipping to them. I'm almost certain. Yeah, we just have to figure that out. So there's going to be issues like that. Sorry, guys. It's going to happen. But
and if that makes you upset and you live in Australia, you need to start a revolution. I mean, you guys have been being mistreated, and if you being unable to get the Drop Shot of Call of Duty podcast merch is the last straw, so be it. If I start a revolt, a revolution in Australia, if they write about this in the history books and say Australians were on the verge of rebellion, and then when they couldn't get their Drop Shot merch, that was the final straw. That was like Archduke Ferdinand getting assassinated, dude. It was just a catalyst for events of global scale. Maybe that's going to happen. You guys should revolt, though, and also it's not our fault. I'm not going to get on a fucking canoe and paddle out to you with a bag, with a knapsack full of your items. Sorry. I don't know what we can do. It depends on if Australia is denying United States mail, or if the USPS is disallowing their packages to go to Australia. I don't know why the USPS would care. I don't think there's anything we can do. Because it seems way more likely that Australia just isn't accepting anything from the US.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really sure. We'll look into there has to be someone shipping there. Also, guys, as Raz was saying, since this is all in-house, aka I'm the one packaging it and shipping it, hey, your order isn't going to be packed and shipped the next morning. I don't know what to tell you. It says that on the website, but I'm just reminding you, it will not ship the next day. Does it say that on the
website?
You put that on there. You were like, it ships within 5 to 10 business days. It won't ever be 10, but... Yeah, you guys place all those orders on the Vanguard release day, Monday or Thursday. Those won't ship out until Monday at the absolute earliest. Get fucked. So figure that out, boys.
Yeah. 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 By the way, Tanner's doing all of it. So it's going to look all professional and cute. You're going to get the auto email, the receipt, the invoice number. Don't let that trick you. all that happens is Tanner gets a notification and he needs to get his ass to a box and pack it and take it to the post office, okay? This isn't Amazon. We don't have a fucking factory warehouse where we make employees piss into cups or something. This is just some guy in his grandma's dead grandma's house, throwing shit in a box and mailing it to you, okay? So we'll do it. We'll get it done at a point, but yeah, it's not going to be same day delivery. So just keep that in mind as well. Yeah.
And as you were mentioning about the discount code, yeah, it's going to be an excellent time to go Damascus. We're upgrading Damascus quite a bit. We don't know when that's going to go live. Maybe November, more likely December or something. We're not totally sure yet. But either way, Damascus is going to get a lot better. And on top of that, you get a store discount code. So if you've been like considering that tier at all, then you may want to do that before the shop goes live because you'll get a discount.
Great point. Yes, great point. So we did our last Patreon episode was about, I don't know which one you guys will hear first. You'll probably, whatever. On a recent Patreon episode, we talked about the overhaul and our plans for that. And then we got quite a bit of feedback actually saying, oh, this will probably make me want to upgrade to Damascus. If that's you and you feel like you're probably going to upgrade anyway, then depending on how much merch you are going to or thinking about getting, it might be more economical for you to upgrade before the merch drop so that you get the discount. So if like you're going to upgrade anyway, you might want to do it early so you get that store discount and then you can save some money. Have we decided on the discount number? We did, right?
I think we did, yeah.
So the discount's going to be 15% for Damascus patrons on everything always. So, if you're going to get a t-shirt, then it's probably not going to be cost effective for you to go Damascus a month early to save 15% on a $25 t-shirt. However, if you're planning on getting fucking 2 shirts and 4 whiskey glasses and 4 coffee mugs, you probably save money by upgrading to Damascus just for the discount. So that's something to keep in mind. If you were going to do it anyway, you might want to do it early and then get that discount. Here's how the discount's going to work, by the way. We are going to, every month probably, make a Patreon post that is only visible to Damascus patrons, and it is going to have a coupon code that lasts for that month. And when you put in that coupon code on the website at checkout, you'll save 15%. That's how we're going to implement the discount for all Damascus patrons. We're just going to only tell Damascus patrons what the code is for 15% off. And so if you put that in, you'll get the discount. Yeah. So that's how it's going to work, by the way. We don't have it integrated with Patreon. It's not going to automatically give you a discount. You're going to have to put in the code. But we'll give you the code on Patreon, and that'll only be visible if you're Damascus. That's how that's going to work. So make sure you're checking that. Make sure if you are a Damascus patron, double check the website. Make sure you have the code. Save yourself some money. If we could do it automatically, we would, but I can't. I don't know. I don't think that's possible. It certainly isn't possible right now. So make sure you're getting that discount. Or better yet, know that you can get a discount and then don't use it because we could use more money. That's another thing you could do, of course. So just keep that in mind, obviously.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, there's gonna be a discount code. I hope and expect none of you to use it though, right? So
Correct,
fuck
yes.
you if you use it. No, I'm just
and
kidding.
we will hold it against you if you use it.
Yeah, if you
obviously.
normal orders may ship out within 3 days. If you use a discount code, expect 14 days for me to pack your order. So get shit on, I guess.
Yep. Correct. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna save money on no rush shipping.
Yeah.
On when I'll send it shipping. Yeah, that's how that's gonna work. So anyways. Cool. So that's the merch. That's the merch announcement. Got very excited about these 3 things. Very excited about the Patreon overhaul we're going to be doing relatively soon as well. And very excited about Vanguard also. There's a lot cooking for Call of Duty in general, and especially for members of this small but vibrant and extremely humble community. So, patreon.com/Dropshot, best way to support the show. And the merch is going to be up soon, dude. Super soon. So be here live. It's going to be a really fun time on Vanguard release night, selling merch like fucking hotcakes an hour before launch. It's going to be great. So that is, I think, that.
Yep.
Other than that, Tanner, any other announcements?
No.
Okay. By the way, Sliv, I did get your very generous contribution. Thank you very much, dude. I really appreciate it, and I will be thanking you again on Wednesday. But I did receive your extremely generous contribution. I love you, and I appreciate you. But I'll talk more about that on Wednesday as well. So thank you, buddy. All right, if you're listening for the jingle, here it is.
Brutimus, thanks for the tier 1 king for 17 months. Wow, Brute. Thank you very much, dude. Have a good evening, sir.
Dude, my mom's been bugging me about our merch store. I'm not kidding, for 3 months. She like really wants to wear the merch. I'm gonna text her when it drops.
No way.
Yeah, like no cap. I know. I was surprised too. I was like, why? She listens to the podcast sometimes. She tells people about it.
Oh God.
Super fucking cute. Oh, dude, my mom talks like me. She's a real piece of shit too.
Oh, she's the worst. Yeah.
I love my mother, but she's irreverent. Let's say. Merch live. November 4th, 8 p.m. Okay, I texted my mother. And she's going to pay like everyone fucking else, man. No
better.
free rides in this bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, did you bring me into existence? Don't care. $25, lady. Here's your t-shirt. All right, welcome to the show. Episode 176. Today, we are doing a Warzone... I love my mother. Relax. Brainstorm. And again, I will remind all of you, if you skipped the announcement, cringe and go fuck yourself. And we're doing a merch drop November 4th, 8 p.m. Pacific time. If you skip the announcements, not skipping that one, bitch. Today, we're doing an episode called a Warzone Brainstorm. This is where Tanner and I think out loud, try to answer questions we've been having, and obviously related to Warzone in this case. We're probably going to start doing multiplayer brainstorms on the Patreon as well. For more details on that, join the Patreon, listen to that episode where we talked about the overhaul. All right. So if you like this episode at the end, reminder, we do these a lot on Patreon. We've done a lot and we'll do more. We call these Warzone Brainstorms, and among my favorite ever episodes to record because they're really fun. So that's what we're doing. We got a lot of things written down here. Tanner and I played quite a bit today, but you know, we've been playing for a while lately, obviously, and post season 6. And with that, there's always new shit to talk about, new things to discuss, think about, etc. So these are not in a hugely particular order. They're pretty loosely grouped, but not any real order exactly. So let's start with this. The Swiss versus the car 98K for sniping. I have been using the Swiss for a long time now. I really like the Swiss. It's great. And I got real comfortable with it. And I was watching Jake using a car again. And I was like, man, I should give the car another try. Because the Swiss is great, but one thing it doesn't have is 200% aim stability, where your reticle doesn't move ever, and you don't have to hold your breath. So the advantage of the car is if you put on... So here's the setup. Monolithic suppressor, longest barrel available, tac laser, sniper scope, with the cover shot reticle ideally. It's the cleanest one for MW snipers. And then a stock. So There are two Car 98K builds. You could either use the Sport Tac, I believe it's called, stock. And what this does is increase your aim down sight speed. And that's probably the most common setup for the car. And that's a great setup, don't get me wrong. But there's another stock that's even better, I would argue, called the Precision Comb stock. I don't know why a stock is called a comb, by the way. Like a hair comb, C-O-M-B. Is that a thing in guns, Tanner?
I don't know. Good question.
Very, very cringe stock name, but it's called the Precision Comb. It increases aiming stability. So, for those of you who didn't know, the tac laser also increases aim stability. So when you have both of those attachments on the Car 98, what's super interesting about it is that without holding your breath, the reticle barely moves at all. And that makes it incredibly fucking easy and good in Warzone, because you can just hold an angle, not have to worry about breath hold really, and then your reticle just doesn't move and you just dink kids up. That's the advantage of the car. So I've been using the Swiss a lot, but today on a whim, I was using the car, and it felt pretty goddamn good, and I was dinking kids up. However, I have a couple observations about it, and I want Tanner's opinion on what the best sniper is. I don't know when the last time you used the car was, Tanner. When is the last time you used a car?
God, long time, honestly. Maybe almost 2 months, actually. It's been a long time since I've used a Car 98 in Warzone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so here were my thoughts today using it. First of all, I forgot how fucking slow Modern Warfare guns are.
Yeah.
It is like very, very noticeably slower. The movement speed, the sprinting speed. I don't know so much about ADS and sprint to fire time. Those seemed fine. Definitely slower feeling than the Swiss, but I actually don't have numbers on that. I'm not sure that that's true. But I'm positive the movement speed's slower.
A lot worse, yep.
Normally when I snipe these days with a Swiss, I just keep the Swiss out. I keep that thing on me and run around with that because it's a Cold War gun. So you go at 120% movement speed if you have a Cold War gun in your hands. So that's also nice about the Swiss, by the way. It might sound just like a quality of life thing, but when you're holding a sniper that you move almost as fast as you do with your SMG, and you're crossing like a big open plain, it's nice to be able to hold the sniper and still be moving quickly enough. Because if you start getting shot, you don't have to switch to your sniper off of your SMG or whatever to countershoot. And that's actually a big deal. I think once today that happened to me. We were running across some prairie or something, Gone with the Wind, and I had my OTS-9 out because I wanted to move my character, and you can't do that if you have a car out. So then I had to switch to the car before I could like return fire because he was real far away. And that was cringe. And if I had a Swiss, I wouldn't have had to do that.
That is a very good point, yes.
That's like pretty big. What are your thoughts so far?
The Swiss absolutely zooms. If I'm running like an AR build with the Swiss, like an AK close range setup or like an XM4 close range setup, it honestly doesn't matter what gun I run with. They feel the same. I think that the AR is probably moving a little bit faster, but compared to like an AR, like you're saying, like a Car 98, big difference. SMG, a little bit faster, but even then, I do that often with the Swiss. I'll run around with it out, and so as soon as I start getting shot at, I can just scope up and shoot someone. And you can't do that with a Car 98 because you'll die before you can even scope up because your character is moving so slow and you feel sluggish, and you're just not going to kill that person most of the time. So that is a big benefit that not a lot of people think of, is the movement speed on a sniper. So that's huge.
I didn't really think about it either, but if you snipe a lot, you kind of will pick up on that. It's really nice. Another thing too that I didn't really remember, but the sniper scope on the Car 98 is technically a 7x, not an 8x.
Zooms less than the Swiss, yes.
It zooms noticeably less than the Swiss, and it was kind of annoying.
It is.
Because
Yeah.
I've been, again, using the Swiss so much that I'm like really used to that level of zoom and reach, and you don't get that with the car. You actually miss you miss it a lot. Like you miss that amount of zoom a lot. It makes it way easier to use the car up close because it zooms less. But I would say for me, it's not worth it. I'd rather, if I could, I would have the same amount of zoom on the car as I do on the Swiss.
Yeah.
That it was like surprisingly noticeable going back to that. What else was I going to say? Yeah. And then the last thing, and again, here's the advantage of the car. Just as easy to dink kids up as I remember. Because it doesn't move. It's so dumb. The most difficult thing today for landing shots for me was just getting the bullet drop down. But it wasn't the aim. Because you don't have to aim. It doesn't move. You just point and click. It's like opening a file. I've never misclicked a file. So that was not difficult. But getting the bullet drop down, it took some getting used to again. So, and part of that's probably because the zoom level is kind of weird, but that fucking, so if you're going to try the car again, I strongly recommend you use the Precision Comb stock. If you're going to use the ADS stock on a car, then at that point, you might as well just use a Swiss, because then it doesn't have any advantage over a Swiss anymore. It's just like a shittier Swiss at that point that moves slower. But if you put on the Precision Comb stock, then the car will have one advantage, which is that it's easier to use. And that goes a pretty long way.
Yeah.
And does it make it a better sniper, though? That is the question. What do you think, Tanner?
So there's a couple things, too, that not a lot of people talk about with the Swiss and car. I'm trying to pull up some stats here. Is the Swiss does more stomach damage by quite a bit as well. So that's something else you'll notice is often with a Kar 98, it'll take 3 shots to kill someone. With a Swiss, it's pretty much always 2. That's one of the major advantages to it. Same thing when someone's downed. If I'm not mistaken, the Swiss can take, can it take 3 shots when someone's down? I think it can.
The car, you mean?
Yeah, the car. Whereas I'm not sure.
You're right.
Maybe the Swiss can also, but that seems to happen far more often for me with the Kar 98. So like the stomach damage on a Swiss is 104. The stomach damage on a Kar 98 is 86. That's a big difference.
Oh, wow.
Chest damage.
I think that happened to me today, by the way.
Chest damage on a Swiss. These are base guns, by the way, with no attachments on them. 180. A Kar is only 154. Obviously, if you're hitting headshots, which a lot of people are, then it's going to be a one-shot down with either of them. But the Swiss does more damage. Same thing with neck, 190 versus 154. So the Swiss is more forgiving. I think kind of where I'm at now, because we've had the Swiss versus car discussion a lot, because it is always something, our thoughts are always changing on it. I think it pretty much comes down to, if you're on a controller, you should be using a Kar 98, because a Kar 98 is considered a marksman rifle. You get more aim assist. If you're on KBAM and you haven't tried the Swiss, I would recommend giving it a shot. It's a sniper rifle, so you don't get that amount of aim assist, not nearly as much as a Kar 98. That's going to hurt you a lot. So I think that's still why we see so many Kar 98s being used, because Warzone is predominantly controller players, and that's a lot easier for them to use. You're probably at a pretty strong disadvantage if you're on controller and using a Swiss. So I wouldn't recommend that. But KBAM players, absolutely. I don't think there's too many pros of using a Kar 98 anymore over a Swiss. The Swiss just handles so fucking nice. The reload speed. It's so fun, too.
Yeah, I love the Swiss.
It's just like, because you can...
the animations it has when you're like sprinting. It's just like you hold it all fucking weird. I like it, though.
I think
it's grown on me.
I think that's the main reason that it's fun, is because of the movement speed of it. Because it's like you can be running in the open, getting shot at. 100%. You jump, ADS really quick, fantastic ADS speed, down the guy, keep running, someone else is shooting at you, you jump again. It's just like that movement speed alone, when you fire off those shots, feels a lot more rewarding compared to a Kar 98. So, yeah, I love the Swiss still. I haven't had any reason to go back to the Car 98. I do really well with the Swiss.
Yeah.
And I just don't see a need to change it up.
Yeah, I'm with you there. By the way, on the damage point too, you're right. I didn't think about that, but that's another good point. Outside Super today, there were two guys behind Super. I was like on the street going toward factory, looking at that back window. Guy's there. He's on top of like a cargo container.
C-can.
C-can, thank you. And I dink him up because I'm using a car and you can't miss headshots with it. So I headshot him. He's down. And then I line up for another shot and I hit him, but I don't get head. I shoot him in the tummy or the chest, but he doesn't die. And then he falls behind the C-can. Teammate reses him and he's alive. And I think if I was using a Swiss there, I might have just killed him right before he dropped. Like that second shot in the same spot might have killed him. Even if it didn't kill him, it would have brought him way closer to being thirsted than the car did because of the damage. So his teammate would have had less time to get to him before he died. That is another good point about the Swiss. And that's one circumstance, real life circumstance. Well, real video game circumstance, excuse me. That is something you don't think about that often. And there are a lot of circumstances like that where like damage does matter more than you probably think. Because some of you guys might be thinking like, oh, well, the damage doesn't matter if they're all one-shot, headshot downs. It's like, okay, keep that energy. I mean, there are times when things don't go perfectly and you're not just shooting all heads. And then the damage matters a lot, for sure. And especially for thirsting people, I would argue. Yeah, when they're crawling behind a building and you've got one shot and you miss the head, well, if you have a Swiss and you shoot neck or upper chest, they might die or they might be so close to dead that their teammate doesn't have time to get to them. Whereas with the car, you might heal them, in fact. So that is something you really is a good point that you won't think about a lot, but it does make sense. So yeah, I think that I agree with you. I'm still on the Swiss train as a K-BAM idiot, as a dumb shit who plays on keyboard and mouse. Swiss, I think, is just better. It's more fun, and it has so many more advantages. By the way, once again, it's a box magazine. You don't have to load one round at a time like a fucking asshole with the car. You can just box mag that bitch up. That's really nice. And it rarely makes the difference between like living and dying or killing and not killing. But sometimes it does. And the quality of life is nice. Because another thing about the car, if you have to reload one round at a time, effectively your movement speed's slower because while you're reloading, you're not tack sprinting.
That's also why it feels slow. That's a really good point. That's what it is. Yeah. Because you're always reloading. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's like another advantage of the Swiss. The car's only advantages are way more aim assist. So if you're on controller, it's probably worth sticking with it. And it's just easier to use, even if you're not on controller, because it has no sway. But I think I am on team Swiss for sure. Yeah.
It's interesting also because it's all in the attachments to make that movement speed good. Because the base movement speed and strafe speed is actually better with a Car 98 than a Swiss. It's just all in the Cold War attachments are a lot better for mobility compared to Modern Warfare attachments. So, like, let's just say the Cold War, if the movement speed was 5 meters per second, which it's not, but that just makes it easier. Like, with attachments, you're barely going to get any better than that. But with the Swiss, if it's 5, that can go down to like 4 because you can add so many movement attachments on it that make it so you just zoom around. Yeah. So higher. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. What's the Swiss setup, by the way, Tanner, for the listeners?
What am I running right now? So combat recon barrel, 5 milliwatt laser,
agency suppressor,
agency, and then I'm running. I don't know what grip I'm running right now. I think
Dropshot
Serpent.
wrap.
I don't know if I am running Dropshot. Maybe I am actually. I think I am. So Dropshot and then Raider Pad,
stock.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't sniped in like a week and a half or so, but I think that's the setup I'm using. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like the meta setup. I don't know how the Sprintifier compares with that, by the way, either. But I think it might be faster than the car.
Yeah, for Sprintifier, I'm not positive.
With both of those guns having meta attachments, I feel like the Swiss has better Sprintifier, definitely better strafe speed, better ADS time, and obviously way better movement speed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And another thing, it's kind of apples and oranges, but you do get a free attachment slot on a Swiss because you don't have to run a scope.
Yes, very
true. On
true.
a car, you do. So that's another thing to consider.
Yep.
Again, kind of apples and oranges because they're different games, but something to consider.
Yeah, the reload thing is a big one, by the way, because like, yeah, if you look at the reload time of it, it's like half a second faster than the Swiss, which is a long time, but that's also reloading individual bullets with a Kar 98 from 0 to having 5 bullets. A Swiss, you can have 0 bullets, you can have 4 in, the reload time doesn't change, and there's no point in like I don't reload my Swiss until I get down to like 1 round or something. With a car, after I fire like 2 shots, if I'm moving, I'm like, okay, I want to have 5 rounds, so I'm going to load a couple more in, and then that turns into you're just always moving around the map really slow with a Kar 98.
Yes. But on this topic, before we move on, here's a little pro tip. I learned this from watching Jakedown, twitch.tv/Jakedown. Go to his channel and demand that he makes T-Hypes an editor for his channel, and also that he starts a YouTube. Thanks in advance. Is that you don't need to reload all 5 bullets at the same time. It's a dumb habit that I get it. It feels satisfying to just have a full... Well, it wouldn't be a magazine. What would it be called? A full gun? A full barrel?
I don't know what it's
a
considered.
Full action?
It may be considered a clip, but I don't think it comes out. I don't know what it's considered. I don't know.
Anyway, maybe it is just an internal magazine.
Yeah, it could just be internal.
I think it's just an internal mag. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Whatever it is. You don't have to have all 5. So, like, if you're in a gunfight sniping at people far away and you're like hitting some, missing some, whatever, and then you shoot your 5th bullet, you don't have to sit there like an asshole and wait 30 minutes while your guy chambers all 5 rounds. Sometimes what you should do is chamber 1 and then scope in again, especially if like he's about to be behind the wall or cover and you're not going to have time to chamber all 5. You should keep in mind you don't have to chamber all 5. Chamber 1 and then stop. Easiest way to stop, by the way, is to fire. So chamber 1 round. Once you see on your UI that it says 1 out of 38 or whatever, just press your fire button and it'll stop the next reload so that you'll have the 1 round and you'll be ready to shoot.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to cancel reload on a car. You could also like weapon swap twice, but it's way easier to just press fire once. That's a good way to cancel reloads when you're doing individual rounds like that on a car. So there's something else to keep in mind. What is this little item you've written here, Tanner? It's super fucking interesting, actually.
Oh, yeah, like I was just saying, I haven't used a sniper in like a week and a half, and I'm never going to. I'm done with snipers. I'm an AR main now. I'm an AR and an SMG main. Why, you ask? Because I got a bigger monitor and I can see things in high definition, and I don't need to use a sniper anymore. I'm realizing
Tell us
before...
about the monitor.
So before I had a 1080p 240 hertz monitor. It was 24 inches, 24 and a half.
Monochrome.
I moved up to a 27-inch 1440p 240 hertz monitor. I cannot stress how big of a difference it is in Warzone, especially. I can see everything, dude. Everything. So before I was always using a sniper, and I'm realizing now it's because I couldn't see anything at range. Like, I was always watching people using ARs. I'm like, bro, how are you shooting so easily at that guy from that far away? I can barely even see him. And so I would just snipe. I would aim my dumb reticle on their stupid, ugly little forehead, and I would put a bullet through it, and I'd down them. And then I'd put one more bullet in their head as they're crawling around, and I'd full kill them. Well, now I can use an AR, and I'm shooting kids across the map clearly, and I see them, and I can track them, and I can kill them, and it's so easy to use. So right now, I'm on an AR SMG grind, and it is fun, dude. I've actually been dropping more kills that way too, I think. Sniping is very fun, but you don't end up getting as many kills because you get so many downs and then they just get rezzed, or you get a down, then your teammates are 70 meters in front of you, they push in the building, the guy you downed gets revived, and then your teammate kills him and wipes the squad. So I have, 6,000 damage and 2 kills. That's what happens when you snipe. True. ARs, it's like I'm actually getting full kills and stuff. It just feels really good to be able to see people, honestly. So I have no interest in sniping right now. It actually feels weird. Sniping on a bigger monitor as of right now seems a little off. I just need to get used to it. But I've been running AR and having a whole lot of fun with that.
Yeah. That's the case for me too, is I'll definitely have more kills if I'm using AR sub.
Yeah.
However, that's not to say that it's necessarily more valuable than sniping. And this depends on if you want to win or not. Tanner hates winning, so he doesn't care. But
winning doesn't matter in Warzone. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, and we'll of course get into it. But for those of you who do play games to win them, you will get fewer kills sniping than using an AR in general. But for the reasons Tanner mentioned. But unless it's like solos. In solos, if you're a good sniper, you probably get more kills sniping. Because unless they have self-rez, it's just an instant kill.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider too. But even if you're not going to get as many kills, there are times where if you're playing 4s and no one has a sniper, you will lose the game. You'll die. You'll all die right there because and only because no one's sniping. It happens all the time. Whenever we have no one sniping, we think, God damn it. There's 4 people on 4 corners. I see fucking so many glints on my screen. Looks like I'm on stage at Coachella. Just fucking flashlights everywhere. And we can't do shit about it. And then we just die because we have to rotate in, but we can't do it off of a pick. Yeah. So sniping is super valuable. If you're playing 4s, you need at least one person who can use that thing.
Yeah, keep that thing on them.
Yeah, so that you can get a pick on someone else sniping. That guy's down. Someone is rezzing him. That's 2 people down. It makes a rotate so much easier. So you really do want a sniper, but you will get fewer kills in general. Yeah, 100%. So something else to consider. Also, if you are using an assault rifle, of the Cold War variety, I was watching Iceman Isaac broadcast, and he was raving about this reticle that is available on the Axial Arms 3X for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War weapons. And it's called the Scalpel Reticle. So the default Axial Reticle is just a black X or cross. And it works great. That's totally fine. However, if you preferred the look of the default VLK reticle on MW guns, which many people did, then you should consider unlocking the Scalpel reticle for Cold War guns, because it's basically the same as the default VLK optic, except the dot is green instead of red, and also it's a little busy underneath, but it's not obstructive to your sight picture. Do you prefer the Scalpel? And the way to unlock the Scalpel reticle, by the way, unfortunately, get 500 kills in zombies while ADS'd with an Axial Arms 3X.
Which doesn't take long.
That sounds like more than it is because it's zombies. You'll kill 500 in 1 round. But that's how you unlock it. It's easy and it doesn't take that long. But do you prefer the Scalpel reticle or the default Axial reticle, Tanner?
I don't know. Like, certain guns feel better with different reticles. Like, so I was using the XM4 a lot today. That I had the default reticle on all day. It felt perfectly fine. I actually didn't even ever think to put the Scalpel on it. But on certain guns, it just feels better. Like a Cold War AK, the default axial optic seems weird on it. Don't ask me to describe why I feel that way, because I don't know. Some guns just feel better with certain reticles. A gun like the Cold War AK feels really, really nice with that Scalpel reticle, because you see a lot of the big streamers using that one with a big green dot in the middle. Don't know how the
that
fuck
one's
you see with
trash,
that
yeah.
thing. It's absolutely horrible. They all started using it because Joe Woe or Swag did. I can't track with that thing past 30 meters because at that point, the dot is so big it's covering the person. So I don't know how they see anything with it. Whatever. Not usable for me. So Scalpel is a very small green dot, super clean. To me, that's the only other reticle worth using besides just the default axial one. So I would recommend giving it a shot. Cold War Zombies is pretty fun. And yeah, it's a nice little reticle to have, but it feels right on certain guns. I don't really know why. It's almost like guns with more horizontal recoil. I prefer the one with the green dot. Because with the axial, it may be like horizontal recoil, high horizontal recoil guns or very bouncy guns feel odd because it's a straight up cross. So I'm seeing that cross go from left to right on the body versus like the Scalpel, which is a green dot. It almost makes it seem like the gun isn't bouncing as much in my mind. It's probably something to do with that. And that's why it feels like nice on the Cold War AK because it has a lot of recoil. But it's worth unlocking if you play zombies. It's not, if you're considering buying Cold War to do this, then don't fucking do that. But
Yeah, Vanguard comes out in 11 days. Yeah, definitely don't do that.
But if you have zombies, look up the reticle, Scalpel, see if it looks good to you. Isaac, I think, tweeted about it or maybe made a video on it. He for sure tweeted about it. So you can see images of it there if you want to actually do it or not. But it's pretty easy.
That's something that was the case with the AMAX too, back when MDA was the only game in Warzone. Is like everyone used the default VLK for every gun. But when the AMAX came out, everyone for only that gun used, I think it's called T-pose, which is like the default axial reticle. So that there is something to that. Some people prefer reticles depending on the gun. It's worth at least looking into. And if you unlock it and you don't like it, then just don't use it. No harm, no foul. But I like it, and I've been using it too.
Yeah,
and I do like having the dot because it's also like with the cross. You're a little less clear on whether you're actually on target because it's just a black cross. And like, if you're slightly to left, you're not really like, it's hard to say you're not positive, but it's like, it's less clear that you're not on them. Whereas if there's a green dot and everything else is black in your sight picture, it's much easier to tell, okay, is the green dot on the fucking guy or not? Whereas with the cross, it's like, okay, where do they intersect? Do Pythagorean's theorem, and then you figure out you're on target or not. Cringe. So I do like the dot too. I like Scalpel better. So anyway, something to consider. It's called Scalpel. I don't know why. Next point here. This is not something I've been considering. This is just me telling you guys. So this isn't exactly brainstorm. Brainstorming. I don't know what word I'm looking for. I'm never not using an SMG with a sniper again. And it is that simple. I'm done trying to use sniper support ARs. I think it's not fucking worth it. If you want to use an AR, an iron sight AR with your sniper, here's what you should do instead. Get good, get more comfortable with your sniper, and use it when people are a little closer. Because the advantage is that you have an SMG in buildings where other people also have SMGs. Because this is something I've talked about this before, and now I'm back to tell you, confirmed. I'm never, ever not using an SMG with a sniper again, ever. Because there's no point. There are so many more times when I'm sniping that I would rather have an SMG than I would rather have an assault rifle. Because so many times in Warzone, you go inside of people or people come inside of you. No pun intended. And you really want an SMG in those circumstances. And even if you build your cute little assault rifle for close range, cool. Your close range AK build, hey, it's great. Faster mobility and handling than a long range AK build. Not as fast as a fucking OTS-9 when you're getting slide canceled by a rose skin FB.GG'er.
Yeah.
See ya. You're fucked. It doesn't matter. So
That's
what
true.
I'm doing now, and I'm convinced this is real and true and the case, I'm never not using an SMG with here. Let me restate this. I'm never not using an SMG. Whether I'm using an AR or a sniper, my second gun is an SMG. And it's that simple. For when people get inside of me, I have a chance. And I've been loving it. I thought I would miss not having an AR more, but I don't. And it's been like 2 or 3 weeks now. And the only thing I've had to change about my game to account for the loss of the AR is just snipe people 10 meters closer than I would normally try to snipe them.
Yeah.
And it's worth it. Because even if you don't get the headshot, you can pretty often, if you're decent with a sniper, at least hit something. And then your full plates, you just cracked their plates. Then you can switch to your OTS-9. And even though they're 30 meters away and it does 1 damage per round, you're still so far ahead that it doesn't matter that you don't have AR range anymore. And then you can get the finish.
Yeah, true.
It is that simple. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, because if you can't hit a headshot, at the very least, hopefully, or if like you can't down them, hopefully you're at least cracking them. And then like you're saying, if someone has no armor plates and, you know, half health or something, they're not going to keep pushing you usually. If they are, they're dog shit. You can probably get a follow-up shot with your sniper and kill them anyways. But if they're smart, when they get cracked, they're going to try to hide. So then you just pull out your SMG real quick, you rush them, get some shots on, put the pressure on, get the kill. So yeah, I think I agree with you. That's what I've been doing for a long time, or even I was using a shotgun with this
You're a
sniper.
real piece of shit.
Yeah, hey, and it was working fine for me. That's what I was saying back then in all the Patreon episodes. I was like, dude, I'm sniping people with my Swiss I'm downing them in one shot from 20 meters away. I don't really need an SMG or an AR. So, and then you know, a shotgun was working when I was inside of buildings. Now shotguns have pretty much been nerfed to hell. So,
yeah,
but yeah, it's like snipers aren't that easy. I mean, they're not that hard to use. I think some people are just scared of them or something. You can get one shot downs up close. Just start practicing with it. Practice.
Yeah,
eventually
true.
You'll get to the point, especially controller users with a Kar 98, like I was saying, aim assist works really well on that gun. You can get some one shot downs from close. So you should try it out. Run it with an SMG. It's a fun loadout. I mean, it's like you don't see pros running that, so it's not the best loadout for like high kill games, but it's very fun to use that. A really quick mobility SMG and then like a fast Swiss is really fun, especially.
What is the most common pro Warzone player sniper support gun? Is it an AR?
I don't know. Most of them don't actually snipe, so
yeah, true.
Like
yeah.
people like Pieman snipe in pubs, but when he goes into tournaments, I don't think he does. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know. I'll see clips of them getting like snipes, but I don't know what secondary they're ever using because it's just a bunch of like sniper clips of them getting one shot down. So I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, again, if they're closer than you're comfortable with and you have the sniper out, but they're a little too far for you to 1v1 with the SMG, what I always do now is I try to get a snipe. If I hit anything, I am automatically switching to my SMG. First thing. And when you have amped, you can do it pretty fucking quick.
Yeah.
And then you're golden. You can finish them off. If they run away, you can chase and you have the crazy mobility. If they're pushing you, you're ahead on damage, so you can just shoot them back and you'll win. But that's another thing that you can do. So, next, the LAPA. I don't have much to say on this, but I did kill some guy who had a LAPA, and it looked pretty built out. It had a Tiger Team spotlight on it. It had a suppressor.
I'm almost positive that was the bundle build.
Yeah, maybe it was. I don't know.
Because that was the camo for it, I think.
Yeah, it had extended mags, I think. Maybe not. It had 40 rounds? I don't know, whatever. So I killed some guy with it, and I was like, oh, I'm going to fuck around and try this. I can confirm it's pretty dog shit. The iron sights are just far too bad to use, especially being an SMG. I'm not going to put a red dot on a LAPA. It's not good enough of a gun for me to sacrifice an attachment because it forces me to put on a red dot. Therefore, it's absolutely not worth running. It's fine. I think I got like 2 kills with it, but one of them was real touch and go. And if I had my Otis, it would have been free.
Otis.
But instead it was difficult. Because the irons are so bad, I lost him for a second. And I lost like 2 or 3 bullets. Because he just disappeared. Because the irons are terrible. So obstructive and dog shit. So don't use the LAPA. You should level it up because they might buff it. In fact, they probably will. Do the grav while you're at it. But is it good right now? Nope. Irons are too bad. If the irons were good with it, then maybe it would certainly be better. I still don't think it would be meta. The OTS is just too goddamn good.
Well, any SMG you're going to have to run a red dot on is usually not going to be a meta build, you know? Because it's
exactly.
If you use a red dot, then you're usually going to lose some sort of mobility or ADS time. Pretty much both of those things every single time. So it's like you don't want to do either of those things with an SMG. So if an SMG exists where the irons are so bad that you're pretty much forced to use an optic, I don't think that gun is ever really going to be meta in Warzone's current state.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's what everyone says about the LAPA is its irons are like the worst in the game.
Yeah, they're really shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's that. What is the best all-around AR in the game right now? What do you think, Tanner? I actually don't even know, honestly.
You don't know, huh?
Well, I have 2 guesses.
Okay.
I would say either for long range, the Cold War AK or the EM2.
Interesting.
And by the way, pro tip for you listening, if you're using an EM2, if you use the 40 round mag instead of the 50 round mag, you will save yourself 100 milliseconds of ADS time. So use the 40 round mag, and especially on an EM2 because it does so much goddamn damage, you're not going to miss the extra 10 rounds. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So use the 40 round mag, and then it ADSs real competitively along with chunking.
Yeah. So I think right now the best all-around gun, since I've been experimenting with ARs and stuff more lately and not sniping so much, I think without a doubt all around the XM4 is the best gun in the game right now. Between its ease of use, its damage, you can set it up as a sniper support, you can set it up as a long-range AR. I don't think all around there is another gun in the game that can do all of that as easily as that gun can. So like what you were just saying, Cold War AK. Really good gun, not going to be good for a player sub 1.0 KD. It's going to be more difficult for them to control. Whereas an XM4, that person can easily control that gun.
That's true.
Same thing with an EM2. The good thing about the EM2 is it's got like an insane, is it head or neck shot damage? I think it's both. Headshot
multipliers.
Okay, so like
really good.
So an EM2 base does 61 to the head, whereas like an XM4 only does 45.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And even a Cold War AK does 54, which is still really good, but the EM2 is a lot better. So that's why the EM2 is an insane gun, but like you have to be a better player to fully take advantage of it, and that's what I'm understanding as to why all the pros are using it, because they're able to hit headshots easier. They're going for headshots because they know that, because they know it has a good headshot multiplier. So they can get really quick downs if they're hitting head and neck shots too. Whereas the XM4, so easy to use all around. Anyone can use that gun. I mean, I had a few decent games today. I had like I think I had 16 kills. I was using the XM4 that game. It works really well. Yeah, it works. Well, I don't think you did. You definitely didn't. That was the game we had
11 or 12.
You did. You had like 4, but yeah.
No. I had 11 or 12, dude.
Settle down.
Let's look into it.
Settle the fuck down. I need you to settle down.
Okay. Let's
yes.
move on.
So that's why I think right now the best all-around AR is an XM4. So then my next question here was like a loadout for an average player and a cracked player. What would I use in this current meta? So again, as I'm saying, XM4 I think is the best gun in the game for an average player. If you are not insane and you know you're just a decent player, I would strongly recommend using the XM4. And for your secondary, using like a PPSH or a Mac 10. Whereas if you're a sweat lord, if you have FBGG in your name, if your KD is 2 or above, if you haven't switched off the rose skin, if you yell in your microphone when you die and you call someone a gamer word, you're going to do a lot better with an AR like an EM2, and then you can take advantage of an OTS because that's insane too if you can control it. So that's where I'm at. XM4, best gun in the game when you take into account everything. Doesn't do the most damage at all for an AR, but it is just so easy to use. It works really well when you mount it too. The recoil is really reduced mounting that thing. That's what I've been doing a lot lately is I'll see someone crossing, I'll mount up. I've been shocking myself at how far I've been getting downs with the XM4. I'm like, holy shit, man. So that's a big tip there. All of your guns, if you're shooting someone at range and there's somewhere to mount, try mounting. But the XM4 has been working really well.
Yeah. Yeah, the XM4's damage isn't that great, but because of its high fire rate, its time to kill is actually pretty goddamn competitive. It's a bit slower than a Cold War AK, but not by too much. So even though the damage is way lower, the TTK isn't way lower. It's only a little lower. And that is worth noting because the higher the fire rate, the more forgiving, the less missing one shot matters.
Yeah.
So that is good. And the low recoil relatively is, yeah, definitely. I agree with you. I think that right now is the best gun for the average Joe to be using in Warzone. The Extreme M4, 100%. What secondary should they run? Boy, that's tougher.
Any SMG.
Because, well, yeah, probably, honestly. So obviously the best SMG in the game right now is the Otis, the OTS 9. That thing fucks. It does so much goddamn damage. It's really insane. But you have to be real close to people to take advantage of it. And if you're average, I don't trust you to be able to get inside people before dying, where you're going to take advantage of how good the OTS is. And also, it's only got a 40 round mag, so even though the reload speed's very quick, that can and will fuck you up. I've been using the OTS even in quads, and most of the time, I'm so glad I have it, and I fucking torch people. However, every once in a while, I will just die because there are not enough rounds in the magazine. And in those circumstances, I'm thinking I would absolutely be alive here if I had 10 more rounds, 20 more rounds. So that's something to consider too with the OTS, is that you either have to be playing like duos or you have to be fairly high skilled to manage the smaller magazine capacity.
Yeah.
So that's for those two reasons, having to get close and also managing a low ammo count, I don't think I'd recommend an OTS for like an average player. Maybe I would. It's hard to say. And then I would say maybe if it's not the OTS, what's the best SMG for an average player? I want to say Cold War MP5, but that's a little too much recoil. And so I would probably say a Mac 10 or a PPSH is the best SMG right now for an average player, because you've got a generous magazine on both, you've got great handling on both, you have a competitive time to kill at a lot of ranges on both, and you still get all the Cold War movement speed, sprint to fire, all that shit as well.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say if you're an average player. If you're cracked and goated, I think the best loadout is an EM2 with a 40 round mag and an OTS 9. 100%. And I don't think there's really any question about it. The OTS is just so fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
If you can slide cancel into its range, like 8 to 10 meters, whatever that is, see ya. You're not losing, man. You're not losing unless you completely whiff everything, or they're also using an OTS, which is possible. Happens a lot, in fact. But if you don't have an OTS in that situation, then you're without a hope.
Yeah.
So yeah, the OTS is really fucking strong. How is the Otis treating you? Because you've tried on 3 separate occasions now to use the gun, and you have not liked it. Have you come around yet? You were using it today, right?
I was using it today for a few games. And it was kind of surprising me. A few times I got caught with it out a couple times when I was approaching a building. We were like south of Salt at that big, is that the red building? What is that building? Red?
South of Salt.
South of
Big
Salt
Red now.
by the gas.
Yeah, it's
Big Red. Yeah, so we were running into Big Red. We had got a couple downs on the roof. I was pushing in the bottom, and a guy was like coming around the building. So he was too far for an OTS distance. I mean, way too far. It's probably 25 meters away or something, and I was caught without. He already started shooting at me, so I just didn't even think about it. I'm like, fuck, I just gotta start shooting him. I guess I don't have time to switch to my AR. So I put shots on him, and I ended up just frying the dude and downing him really, really fast. And I was like, why is it just working today? I don't know what's going on. It was just clicking for me today.
All those extra pixels you have, dude.
Well, I've been trying it since I changed the monitor, bro. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. So it was working out okay. Pretty damn well today, actually. I felt very confident with it. That's one thing with an OTS. If you run into a building, you have more confidence than having any other SMG. If I'm out in the open, I'm going to be more confident with like a MAC-10. But if I'm pushing a house and I know there's just burgers in there, gups, I can tell they're dog shit because they missed a full magazine on me as I ran up to the building. I just know, I got 40 rounds. I'm downing 3 of the guys in this building with ease with the OTS. Because you're zooming left and right. You're putting a bunch of damage into them. You reload real quick. Go another direction, down the last guy. Oh my god.
Yeah,
it was just
destroys.
So it was absolutely frying today. I was having a ton of fun with it. So I'm gonna give it a solid shot here. Maybe I just needed to get over the skill gap it kind of has. Maybe that's where I was hung up because I hadn't used it enough and just kind of wrote it off early. So I'm gonna play with it again quite a bit. And I think I can stick with it. I also changed the build. I used to put a bruiser on it, and now I drop the bruiser for
Raider stock?
I think a stock, because I'm running, barrel, suppressor, laser, magazine, and stock now. Yeah, whereas before, instead of the stock, I was running the bruiser grip, and it just wasn't necessary at all. I would rather have the Raider. You have better strafe speed, aim walk moving speed. So yeah, I think that helped it too, changing to that. I also still don't know if I should be running regular suppressor or GRU suppressor on it. I think today I was running regular, because GRU, it feels like the ADS is too slow for an SMG, so I don't know. I don't know what the pros are running for that one. I've seen both things. I don't know what the meta OTS build is, honestly, but regular suppressor worked okay today.
I believe for the SMGs, Cold War SMGs, the agency gives you recoil control and strafe speed, and the sound suppressor gives you ADS time and sprint to fire time, so they're both good. Strafe speed's really nice, but so is sprint to fire, obviously, on an SMG. So I've been using GRU, agency, bruiser, 40 fast, and Tiger Team, and that's been working so well. Yeah, I was also like not the OTS was not clicking for me for a while. I, like you, tried it on like numerous separate occasions, but then probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, some guy just fucking lit my shit up with an OTS, and I got mad, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I have to do it again. It's too good to not use it.
Yeah.
And it is, I think why we both had trouble with it is because it's very unlike any other SMG that's ever been meta in Warzone. It's got a smaller magazine than any meta SMG's ever had, and it has less range than any meta SMG has ever had also.
Yeah.
So getting used to that is like, it's weird because you've never had to use an SMG with those properties before. But if you can get used to it and play to its strengths, yeah, it's so worth it. So I would encourage you all to use the goddamn gun. It's just so fucking busted. And the handling is exceptional on it also. And the irons are great too. Really good irons.
Pretty solid irons, yeah.
That's another good thing about any SMG. It's mandatory, really, is good irons. Next, MG82. Is it still worth it? So MG82 is its most recent change is a pretty weighty little nerf. However, what's interesting about that is that it almost doesn't matter. I haven't used a loadout MG82 since the nerf. However, there's still ground loot, and it is my favorite piece of ground loot in Warzone to pick up is a green iron sight MG82 because it is disgusting still. Still fucks really hard, and there are multiple instances where I get surprised by someone off the drop. They get first shots on me, they crack me, but because I have that thing on me, the 82 milligram, I just delete them. It's so dumb. It's such a stupid fucking gun.
Milligram, huh? Wow.
It's the good old 82 milligram.
Holy shit, man. Wow.
So the question I have, and I don't know because I haven't used it, I think you have, is the post-nerf MG82 loadout still worth using? Have you? Because you've used it after
it is,
the nerf,
yes.
right?
It is. It is very good. I got fried to it often today, and every single time I would get fried to it, I would say, I don't know what this guy is shooting me with, but I am getting lasered and down so quickly. And one of the times, actually, when it happened, I think L pushed the guy, and he ended up killing him. And I asked him, I was like, what gun did that guy have? Because he fucking fried me and downed me twice. And L was like, oh, he had an MG82. I'm like, God, man, that gun is insane.
Yeah, it's really nasty.
I think
it have
it's
noticeably more recoil now?
not a whole lot, honestly, because I'd already had a decent amount. It's just straight up, though, so it's not that hard to control. If they added, like, 5% more horizontal recoil, the gun would probably be chalked. But because it's all vertical, it's in a good spot, I think. It's not overpowered at all. It's not bad. Definitely usable in Warzone. I just, like I've said so many times, I don't want to carry around a big, bulky LMG. I know most of the time it doesn't matter, because I can just get out my SMG and run with it, but it's just too slow movement. Like the ADS movement is pretty good, you know, like the strafe speed, not bad because it's a Cold War gun. And it absolutely destroys. Again, insane gun when you mount it. When you mount that thing, there's just hardly any vertical recoil, and that's what people do a lot. I think that's what the guy was doing when he downed me, because he was lower. Maybe he was at fire station. I don't know. He was somewhere, but I believe he was like mounted in a window, and that's why he would. I mean, he would hit every single shot on me, and I got down so fast because the fire rate's so high. So it's still worth running. Not a gun for me at the moment. But I was running it like 2 weeks ago probably, and it was still doing well. It's fun to mix it up and use, but it's not like my main, you know, #1 gun to use. But yeah, I would still run it, and I would still recommend it to people for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, nothing's really going to kill you faster if you hit all your shots than an MG82. Easily higher TTK than any AR at range. Easily. The problem is, yeah, it's an LMG, so slower, and that one has a lot of recoil in particular. And that does bring us to the next point, which is mount more. This is something I've been trying to get in the habit of, and I've been doing a pretty good job, actually, is like, dude, if you can mount, you should just mount. Why not? So something you guys should all do, if you don't mount a lot, before you do, go into your settings, and there are some settings relating to mounting. There's a setting where like you can turn and it'll auto unmount you. And then there's also a setting for how long after you press move, so like go backward, for example, until you dismount, set that to instant, so 0.0. That way you can just mount, and then as soon as you start getting shot, you can come off of it in exactly the same amount of time it would take you to move if you were not mounted at all. I think that's a big reason a lot of people don't mount as often as they should, is because they're using the default settings where there's a dismount delay that you don't have to have a dismount delay. Go into your settings, make it 0.0, and then also turn on the thing where if you like move, it'll auto dismount you as well. Then mounting is not at all cumbersome. You can move off of it just as quickly as if you weren't mounted. You were just sitting there or whatever, instantly. And then mounting is fucking insane because if you can mount, I mean, you get a little bit more cover because you're usually your character model goes even lower than crouched height. So you have less of a character model, and also you have no recoil. So you guys should all get in the habit of mounting more. And by the way, you can mount on many vehicles in this game. I don't know about many, but I know you can mount on the SUV. So drive your SUV, stop it. On the hood of the SUV, you can mount, and you can fuck that way. And no one does this more than Tfue. That's where I learned that that was possible. There's a clip I saw of him a while ago. He's driving through downtown in an SUV. There's guy shooting at him from Nakatomi. He parks it so that the passenger side's facing Nakatomi. He exits the vehicle with his hands up. He mounts up on the hood of the car and fucking deletes them. It's another little nice, fun, and exciting little trick. I don't know if you guys knew you could do that, but you can. But you should mount more. Yeah, just make sure you change up those settings to make it worth it.
Do you know you can mount in the back of a Bertha? Have you ever done that?
Yes.
That works pretty well too. There, you can kind of mount like in one of the corners, so you look just past the cab and you kind of have a view like slightly to the left. But it gets kind of buggy, like when you're driving often, it like seems to unmount you. But if you like pull up and the driver hops out because you guys see a team, if they're like off to the left-hand side, like the driver's side of the car, yeah, you can mount at an angle and get a nasty little mount shot there. But
yeah,
the thing too with the back of the Bertha though is there's not much cover there because the Bertha's so low, like you're mounted to it, but I think way more of your body is showing versus you mounting in like a window or something.
Yeah.
That's another thing to keep in mind, actually, while we're on the topic of that. There are places where mounting will not show much of your body, and then other spots it'll show a whole lot of it. It all depends where you're at, what type of window it is. So just kind of keep an eye on that too. If you're mounted and basically your fucking belly button up is showing, then what's the point in mounting, right? Don't do that. But there will be spots where you can get like an angle and all it's going to be showing is like the side of your head and then like your arm, and it's a really good spot.
The general rule of thumb for mounting is that if you are mounting on the side of a wall, your whole body's exposed. Don't do it unless they don't know you're there. But if you're mounting on top of like a wall, so you're like, how do I describe this? So, okay. If there's a wall, okay, and it's 4 feet tall, 3 feet tall, okay. If you mount on top of that wall, that's a great spot to mount because you're exposing less of your body than if you were crouched. However, if there is a 300-foot tall wall, and then it stops and you mount the side of it, your character model shows like one entire leg out, half of your pelvis, and then half of your upper body, like you're split down the middle. That is going to be a super exposed spot to mount. So some mounting will actually bring you into more cover, and then mounting sideways in general is going to expose a lot of your body. So be very careful if you do that.
Yep.
It can be worth it if they don't know you're there, but if they are like pre-aiming that, do not mount it. You'll get shit on. You want to just like, either strafe peek it quick or just not mount at all.
Yeah.
Good but point. Mounting on top of things, is generally really good.
Yeah, in multiplayer, unbind the mount button in Modern Warfare, because I'm going to be furious if I see you mounted up on a corner and you kill me that way. But in Warzone, it's a great thing to do. Good to get used to. Who knows, maybe when Vanguard comes out, we'll be able to mount in Warzone and move too. It's possible.
Yeah, maybe. So, That'll be weird. But yeah. So, anyways. Next. Fighting on the edge of the gas is super cringe and dumb. And also, if you're in zone and then you see people out of zone running away from the gas to get into zone, you would be wise to just wait for them to come to you. And I know your little dicks get hard and you want to just go chase the kill, but if they have to come to you anyway, let them. The reason I say this is that lately a lot I have been dead to gas more than I know I should be.
Happened
because my dick will get hard and some other guy will also be on the edge of zone, and I could get into zone safely and then deal with this guy later, but I just want to kill him right this second because I'm dumb. And then maybe I kill him, but now the gas is right behind me. Some other guy heard all the gunfire or saw it and starts zoning me, and I'm 100% dead. And what I should have done was just get into the goddamn zone and then kill the guy. So that is something I've really been noticing that I've been doing rather. And it's super dumb. And it's not going to get you more kills. It'll get you fewer of them. And it's like, a lot of times I know I'm doing it and I just do it anyway. Because again, you just get excited, you get thirsty, but try to stay more disciplined. Because if you guys analyze every death in Warzone you have, I bet you for a lot of people, a lot of it is outside the circle because you're forced in to a terrible push by gas.
Yeah.
When you don't need to be. Move earlier.
Yep. Exactly. That's what I've been trying to get better at too. Like even when we were playing trios for a bit earlier, we were up at Salt Mine, I believe. And then the zone, like the edge of it was past stadium and neighborhood, but not as far as array. And you were like, oh, we should just go neighborhood. And it's not a horrible spot, but in instances like that, when you have a vehicle, there's no point in even, most of the time at least, there's no point in just getting to the edge of the zone. You're better off getting further in so you don't have to move as much when the next circle comes. Now, you know,
we almost won that game because of that too. We went to that little goofy building by construction.
Oh, we did. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That ended up being a good game.
That was a good call. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, you know, that helped us survive longer. There are for sure instances where you do want to hold the edge like that. If you're on a burner and you can tell it's a shit lobby or something and you're getting a bunch of kills, and let's say you pop an advanced UAV, regular UAV, and you can see a bunch of kids coming in, then it's okay to sit on the edge of the zone there, inside though, and try to hold them. But it's almost always smarter just to get more central so that by the time that zone closes and the next one is starting to come in, you're still going to be safe and you can stay wherever you are because you chose a better position to start with. Instead of just always driving around and fighting, you're already in good positioning, like more central in the zone. And, you know, take the advantage of buildings when you can, you know, get that height advantage on people, hold buy stations, stuff like that. So it is hard to do, but you got to just get away from that edge. Like that screwed us over twice today. One, you ran back to try to grab a car. You didn't realize it was on the other side of the wall. So you got it. You got in it. Then you started driving it. Then you got downed in the gas. And it was funny because that gas actually from where we were was not coming in fast enough. And Elle and I were just outrunning it anyways. And we weren't even that far to the zone. So if you had just not even gone for that, you would have survived it. That's what's funny. And then a second time, we also got caught on the edge. Trying to hold some kid. The gas was moving in. We were crossing from downtown over to Port.
That ravine, I remember.
We were trying to hold this kid, all three of us. And I was like, we should probably just go. He was being weird. He was getting on a roof. I was like, let's just go. So I start running across. And then what happens? The guy finally shows himself. He starts shooting at Elle and Raz. Someone on the other side of the river. There was a full team over there watching people cross, of course.
Yep.
Of course. And they down both of you guys. I make it across. I get downed. No, actually, I ended up surviving and buying you guys back, but that could have ended badly. Get into the zone. Stop riding the edge of it. Just stop. It's just never going to work out well for you.
And this is difficult too, because there are times where if you're on the edge and you know there's a guy by you, sometimes you do have to kill him, because if you just start running in, he's just going to kill you from behind. So there are times where you do have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And that's just a tough position to be in. You should have moved sooner in that case, honestly. But there will be times where it's not possible to have moved sooner. And then that's just like a tough position to be in. But I would say, and so sometimes you do have to just figure it out. But as often as you possibly can, if someone else is riding gas with you and you can get in without them being a threat to you, you should. Because then you can zone them and you know where they're running in from. And it's usually a pretty fucking easy hold. And then in that case, if someone's trying to hold you that you didn't know was there, you'll be ahead of the gas enough to where you have more time to maybe take an alternate route or kill them, and without the gas eating your health during that time, because you moved a little sooner.
Yeah.
So
good point.
This is all just it's just a lesson in discipline, honestly. I know we all want a bunch of kills, and it's like, oh, this guy's only 30 meters away. I know right where he is, and the gas is coming, so he has to move. It's like, yeah, okay. Even if you get that kill, other people who are waiting to gatekeep you, who are in zone, are looking for tracers. They're listening with their fucking insane headsets for bullets. And then even if you get the kill, it's like, okay, well, now they know you're here, and they're going to zone the shit out of you. It's fucking, yeah. So avoid it when you can. Most of the time. Yeah. Next, these next 2 points, I'm very, very excited to talk about, very interested in. What is better to buy first? So let's say you drop Superstore, you guys get a lot of money, you get your loadout, and you've got some extra cash lying around. Should you buy a UAV or a self-revive kit? What are your thoughts, Tanner? What's better to buy first, in general?
My thoughts are you're an idiot.
Got it.
UAV. If you're playing solos, buy a self-res. If you're playing duos, maybe buy a self-res. Trios, quads, absolutely buy a UAV if you have extra money. Because more often than not, one person having self-res isn't going to help that much. Whereas having a UAV, if you're all up and you guys can all go start chasing kills, get some downs, get some more money, get the ball rolling, pop another UAV, grab some bounties, then it all unfolds, dude. It all unfolds from that one original UAV you grabbed. So, absolutely every time.
Another argument for that, by the way, is that the sooner you pop a UAV, the more utility it's going to be. Because number one, more people will be on the map. I mean, as a match goes on, the number of people goes down almost by necessity, unless there's a prison break. And then number two, the sooner you pop a UAV, the fewer other people are going to have Ghost. So you'll actually get more utility out of it. So the sooner you pop a UAV, in virtually every case, the more effective it will be. So that is a strong argument for UAV as your first buy. It does also depend on the team, on the game mode. Because, solos absolutely get a self first. I would argue in solos, if you're trying to be really try hard, you buy a self before a loadout, actually. I really would argue that for solos, if you're trying to win. And then like duos too, I think that's a tough call. I think a lot of it sometimes depends on the circumstances. So like, for example, there are times where you drop lumber, for example, and you're certain no one dropped with you. You just know there's no one here. Then you might want to buy a self-res, because a UAV isn't going to like help you instantly or anything. Not that a self would either, but on the other hand, if we drop lumber and we do know there's another team there, then a UAV is more important because you don't know what building they're in. You don't know how close they are. And a self-res isn't going to be that useful if you don't know where they are and then they kill you and also thirst you. And then cool, you just wasted the money.
Yeah.
Whereas with a UAV in that circumstance, you'd be like, okay, well now we know they're in there. All 4 of them are in the same room. We can play around this, kill them, whatever. However, self-reses are more valuable and more important than people think. Because a lot of times, dude, I play with people and they'll never buy a self-res. They don't even like think about it unless they have $14,000. Then they're like, sure, I'll get a self. Like it's like a gas mask level of optional, which is just crazy to me. Like it's always just automatically UAV. And I would urge you guys to consider, okay, hold on, you could have a self-res. You know, you have 8,000, you buy a UAV, pop it, and then buy another one and don't have self. It's like, I don't think that's the right play. I think selfs are really good. For example, I agree with Tanner. There are a lot of times, most of the time, a self is not going to be the difference between your team losing and winning. Late game it will be, but like mid game, for example. However, today, me having a self-res literally saved us the game. We were in the...
You are fake news.
No, I swear to God, ask Jake. We were in the ravine between airport and school. And the circle was in school. That area, that side.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
we were
yeah.
crossing from airport to the ravine.
Yep.
You and Elle were dead because you're dog shit.
Got
so
it.
me
Kill
and
check.
Jake, well, we can, and we will, of course, check the logs, and they will favor me. So you guys are dog shit and you're dead, and then me and Jake are pushing up to on the precipice of school. So we're on the ravine, but on the hill going up. Jake gets 9 kills, and then
and then doesn't make a YouTube video out of it.
And then doesn't make a YouTube video out of it, so no one will ever know. Could be a pro, but just doesn't care about, I don't know, playing video games for a living or something. So cool, super interesting. So he gets 9 kills or whatever, and then there's 2 guys left. I down one of them, and someone finishes, or he just dies. And then the other guy downs me, but Jake's pretty close. So Jake's like getting shots on. The guy doesn't want to drop into the ravine to finish me right away. And I'm at a pretty good angle. And then I have self-res. So Jake's getting his ass fucked because this guy has altitude. Jake's already weak from the other 9 people who were trying to kill him. So Jake's at like 80% health, no plates, being shot at. And I'm just slamming that self-res into my dumb little veins.
Yeah.
And as soon as I get it off, I look at the guy who is about to kill Jake, kill him, and then it's a team wipe. And then we all skipped merrily, jollily to the buy station and bought Tanner and Elle back because they were already dead.
Did we win that game?
They're just not good at the game. No, of course we didn't.
Which game was that? Is that the one that went downtown after?
I don't remember what happened after that, honestly. Wait, did we win that game? I don't know. Maybe. I don't remember.
No, that was the one where you ended up getting run over by the Bertha. That was the same
Got it.
game.
Yep.
And then Jake shot at the Bertha after the guy had exited it and was out for 3 seconds.
And,
yeah.
Yeah, Jake just got totally outplayed. So maybe good thing he doesn't have a YouTube because that was embarrassing to watch. So if I didn't have a self-res there, that was the end of the game. It would have been a team wipe. The game's over. But because I had a self-res, I was able to slam it, get it off, 2v1 the last guy when Jake was quite weak, and then we again skipped gaily to the buy station, bought everyone back. So self-reses are good, but I will agree with Tanner, that situation is not super common mid-game. Late game, everyone should have self-res.
Absolutely.
But absolutely more important than UAV late game. Maybe even more important than a precision. I think that depends on if you're sniping or not and what the circle looks like. But a lot of times I would still argue self is better than precision late game. So selves are really important. And you got a lot of people I play with just never even think to buy it. You really should. You'll be able to get it off more often than you think, but you'll also just get thirsted instantly more often than you want also. But I think it's a risk worth taking. Buy a goddamn self-rez.
Got it.
But yeah, I don't know about if I buy it first. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't, but
yeah. So, and then last point I want to talk about. Tanner has 1 point after this.
oh, mine doesn't matter. No, mine doesn't matter.
Which I'll let him spew his nonsense and I'll edit it out later, of course. Got it. When to help versus when to cut your losses. We were talking about this in the Patreon hangout last night, in fact. And I was just talking about how difficult of a question this is. And I don't have an answer. When to help versus when to cut your losses. So for example, let's say you drop lumber in that building or in a building and there's like one other team there and you loot an MP5, a green MP5.
Mm-hmm.
And your team has downed one person. They've downed two of you. And they're like running up to your third and final moving ambulatory teammate. Do you go help in a circumstance that is that dire where it's likely you're going to die? Or do you cut your losses and say, hey, L, you're dead. I'm washing my hands of this situation. I'm going to run the fuck away so that I can go start a scavenger to start buying kids back. When and how do you determine to help versus cut your losses?
I just always try to help. You know why? Because that kind of leads into the point that I was going to talk about, whereas winning doesn't matter. So I don't care if I win that game. I'm going to go help my teammate. I'm going to try to kill everyone there. I'm going to get him up because, of course, I'm going to wipe the lobby. He's going to be fine. We're going to buy a loadout drop, and then we're going to go on to get a bunch of kills and then win the game. I don't like just running away. I would rather die trying to help my teammate, honestly, even if it's a shitty situation, than just run away and let them get fucked. If it's L, then, I mean, almost every time I'll just leave him to die. I don't care about that. But if it's anyone else that we're playing with, I'll try to save them, yeah. Because it's just... If it's not looking good, if you're in like quads too, let's say, and like two teammates are in the gulag, it's me and one other teammate left. He's in a crazy gunfight. He's probably going to lose it. I mean, at that point, it's already so chalked. I'm just going to send it. Yeah. So, and then it's like the same can be said on duos. If my teammate is about to get just destroyed in duos, I'm not just going to leave him and then try to start a contract. It's like, no, I'm going to go help him, do everything I can so he does survive. And then, we can carry on. If not, I'm back in the lobby. I'm re-queuing. Don't care. Yeah. That's an attitude to have. And when we were talking last night in the hangout about this, one thing I was saying is like, I think this also depends on how good you are. Because like, me going to help L in quads against two people is a lot different than Jake going to help L against two people. And it's like, it really does depend also, I think, on how good you are. Yeah.
Because Jake's going to help a lot more than I will, obviously. So that's another thing to consider, too. It's just so, I don't know. I always struggle with this. And this happens most often, though, when, like, I'm bought back, and then some team with loadout sees the buyback, starts pushing the guy who bought me back, and I'm dropping in with a pistol, and there's three people swarming his building. It's like, fuck, man. Do I drop on an adjacent building, hope for some decent ground loot, and try and help? Because like, here's the thing. If I drop in with a pistol against 3 people with loadout and I don't find a decent gun, I'm 100% going to die.
Yeah.
So it's like, should I do this? Is it worth it? And sometimes it pays off because you get like an MG82, an 82 milligram on the roof. You
Don't
mount
call it
up
that.
and you just fucking, you let that thing sing and then you kill them and it's great. And then you can pick up their loading guns. They had some cash and then you're chilling. But other times you drop and there's a Magnum and then, oh, okay. Guess I'll just go die now. And then they know you're there too because they pop the UAV and then they're bum rushing you and you have a 1911, a Magnum, and a prayer. And then you die. So I still don't know how to analyze this situation. I don't even have a rule of thumb. I think it's just so situational that
for sure.
it's really hard to call. And if you don't care about winning, then sure, it doesn't matter. Just always try and help, of course. But if you are trying to win a game, I think this is a tough call.
It also actually depends who you're trying to go help. If I'm going to try to help you, and you got like 2 or 3 guys pushing you, oh, you're dead no matter what, and we're both dead.
Yeah.
If I'm, like you were just saying, if I'm pushing Jake, he's going to get 2 downs, then get downed by the last guy. I'm going to come in at the last second, kill the last guy, and then get the res off. So it's so situational, it's hard to say, but I don't like just running away from teammates usually, no.
Yeah,
I like to res
shitty,
as often as I
sure.
can and try to save them as often as I can, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just a team player. I'm for the people.
Well, yeah. Yeah, no, I get it though. I get it. Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's a little toughy, but it is what it is. So anyway. All right, Tanner, what's this last point here?
Oh, it's just my yearly reminder that winning doesn't matter in Warzone. Winning is boring. It's not exciting. I don't care about your win count. Win doesn't matter. Give me kills and an early exit. Fuck winning. Doesn't matter. Cringe.
Got it.
Raz got mad early because we didn't lose a game. Or because we didn't win a game. Because we pushed a team outside of the gas to get a few kills and then ended up dying to another team. I said,
I didn't get mad.
I don't
got
fucking care.
disappointed.
I didn't want to win that
disappointed.
game. I got kills. I had a fun game. Didn't get the win. Don't give a shit, man. Don't care.
Here's the thing, and this is a hot take. Okay, so hear me out. Hot take alert.
Hot take alert, yeah.
If you win a game, you'll have more kills than if you don't win the game. Because you'll have to kill more teams
That's not
to
true.
be the last team alive.
Nope.
And in
not
the
true.
particular circumstance in Boneyard that you're referring to,
Nope.
I would venture to bet that if you had stayed in the zone instead of running headlong, tack sprinting headlong into the gas, you would have won the game and had more kills. Hot take.
Cool.
Hot take. Of course,
Any
you support
team-
that push, L.
Any
L is on your side of this
Well, good. He
argument.
should
Tanner.
be.
How do you feel about that?
he should be.
Okay.
Because
go
we
on.
all pushed. Me, Jake, and L all pushed, and you left us to die in the back. So fuck you.
Well,
you lost
Jake
us that
was
game,
in the
actually.
middle,
If
actually.
you had pushed with us, we probably
Jake
would
did
have
not
won.
push, dude.
I was next to Jake. I was no more than 20 meters. It was L that pushed. I was next to Jake the whole time. The whole time. I was in
anyone
that
streaming. I'd like to check the VOD because Jake was very close to me.
Jake was in the middle of those 2 planes, and then there's a bunch of boxes. He was like on top of those, looking towards that buy station at the south of Boner. L ran into that buy. He's the one that pushed. I didn't. I stayed back next to Jake. I went over to his right a little bit. I pushed up more at one point because L said he was about to die, so I was trying to cover him, but then he got the kills, so then I just ran back. So fuck you. Winning doesn't matter.
I don't know what the fuck you guys, you and L in chat here remember, but here's what I remember. You and L were
Kill check?
outside of the circle, and you were by fucking the west edge of the map, where Jake was downed
Because Jake
10
left
meters
us.
from me.
Jake left us to die.
And
That spot where I was
that's the
down
point, isn't it?
was that
Jake
same.
was in the zone, and you two
No.
were not in
That
the zone.
spot where I was down was the exact same little area where Jake had been standing. He had just left because he leaves his teammates and doesn't care about them and only cares about getting kills.
Got it.
So
Okay,
yeah,
well,
that's why I was down.
Well,
And
you
then
should have
L-
come back to the zone like
And I
Jake. That's
couldn't
why he's
have
got
been
an
more
8
safe.
KD and you
Couldn't have
don't.
been more safe for an easy res, and instead L tries to 1v6 two teams over there. As I'm just sitting there behind a solid metal wall, they don't know I'm there. Easy res, and he tries to 1v6 them and dies, of course.
Huh.
Cool.
Okay. Well, I believe that portion.
But yeah,
for
winning
sure.
doesn't matter in Warzone. Give me a fun game with a bunch of kills. I don't care if I win. Because you know what I always see when we get second place? Is a team that won and got literally 5 total kills.
That has been
Cool,
happening
man.
a lot lately, huh?
I don't respect you. I don't care. You got 5 kills. I don't care that you beat us there. Good job. I hope you feel good. You're still trash. You're still trash.
Yeah. Well,
I'm going to
yeah.
try to never get a win when Pacific comes out. I'm going to go for a 5.0 plus KD, 0 wins. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing the no win challenge on the Pacific map.
That would be hard to have a high KD and 0 wins. Yeah.
I'll figure it.
that'd be
You
a
just
toughie.
you just suicide at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you could. Yeah. Just tweet that you have information that would lead to the arrest of Hillary Rodham Clinton. It's a good way to kill yourself.
Yeah. Did you see that meme I sent?
In game, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why it reminded me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways. I think you can get a lot of kills and also win the game. I think that's best case scenario. So there's my
There's
my
yeah.
extremely hot and spicy take.
Yeah, you
That's
could.
just
Is it spicy?
Anyway, spicy is huevos rancheros.
Get me out of here. Mahalo.
Mahalo. All right. So if you guys enjoyed, that's it for this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, this is what we call the Warzone Brainstorm, seminal. And we do this a lot on the Patreon. Patreon.com/thedropshot. 5 bonus episodes a month for now, but it will be more than that soon. Damascus patrons get a discount on our merch forever. And we're doing our first giant merch drop November 4th, 8 p.m. Pacific time. And we'll be live at thedropshot.com/live when it goes live. And we'll be hyping up each and every idiot who gets scammed into buying our extremely high quality merch. It is actually extremely high quality. No cappuccino. So cringe that I said that. So keep that in mind. Merch store coming up November 4th, 8 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to be live for that at thedropshot.com/live. And we're going to march that right into a Vanguard release, Q Simulator, Dev Error Simulator stream where we attempt to play Vanguard on release night. We won't play any Vanguard. We'll look at the main menu sometimes before blue screening. So that's going to be interesting to watch. You can watch us get furious. But before that, from 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific time on November 4th, when our merch goes live, our merch will go live. And that's going to be super fun and exciting. So the merch is going to be sold directly on our website, thedropshot.com. So make sure you're there by 8 p.m. And I'm not kidding. We have a limited quantity of items and we expect everything to sell out. So if you want shit, then get it as soon as you possibly can. Because if it sells out, that's it for a while. Now,
yeah, not that's it. It'll just take a while to restock, maybe a few weeks.
Yeah. So, and if we do sell out in the first 24 hours, then we will consider doing more merch in the future. If not, we won't, and I'll shut down the website. But
we may not even ship it all, actually.
We may stop doing the podcast. Yeah. So, you guys should definitely consider. No, but seriously, the quantity is limited, fairly limited, especially if you want a t-shirt. Because, like, we only have maybe a dozen of each size, if that. It depends on the size. But if you want a t-shirt in your size, absolutely, I would advise you order it quickly. The mugs and the whiskey glasses, less so, but a lot of people, we've been told, are going to be getting multiple mugs and glasses. There is no order limit. We want to just eat up all that cash so you can buy everything in one order and then everyone else can get fucked. I support that. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. So you can do that. if you want, and therefore we're not protecting you. So if you want something, buy it quickly before some Chad wipes out all of our stock, and I'll happily sell one person every shirt and glass we have. No problem. If I'm sold out in a minute, let's fucking go. Don't care. If he wants to burn it on Twitter and make a video about it, cool, man. Not protecting you. So if you want a goddamn shirt, especially, buy it quickly. Figure it out. So that is something to keep in mind for sure. Once again, if you enjoyed the episode, patreon.com/thedropshot. We do this episode often there. The seminal Warzone Brainstorm. And then we do a lot of other fun and exciting bonus episodes. And the overhaul's coming soon. That's where we offer all of our bonus content. That is the best way for you to support the show. If you would like to support the show, waste your money, all that. We offer a lot of bonus shit, and there's going to be even more soon. So please do that. It's best for us as well. We get the most bang for your buck there. Merch store is probably even better, actually, bang for your buck. But Patreon's, well, they're both excellent, but Patreon's steady. So here's what you should do. Be a Damascus patron and also buy merch. Wow, and then don't forget the discount code for Damascus patrons will be up on Patreon and only on Patreon before the merch drop happens. So make sure you get that code and then get amnesia so that you don't use it, because we don't want you to get a discount. We want all of the money, not some of it, not 85% of it. So, but we'll offer it anyway. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. That is it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Have an excellent evening, of course. And as always, remember, stay humble.
Stay humble.